A WWE star is gone from the company. We're going to talk about that plus so much more right here on the Ango Show. Yes. Welcome back to TAS. Don't forget, we got a giveaway at 100,000 subscribers for a World Heavyweight Championship replica belt from WWEshop.com. If you're interested, you should click subscribe. Let's talk about it, guys. Yesterday, we talked about Scott D'Amore being fired from TNA. Now, a lot of people are wondering, why is that the case? Why did they make this decision? They had a really weird situation go down because TNA made this announcement with a press release. Then they got on a call with Talent. Talent reportedly didn't find out until the tweet went out. They had two separate calls, just a lot of chaos here. Dave Meltzer was talking about how Scott D'Amore was actually pushing for the increase in budget because obviously they've been having a lot of momentum, bringing in very good numbers, pay-per-view buys, a lot of streams. TNA was on the up and up. And this was big considering the fact that they haven't done this in over 10 years. And obviously in the last few years, Scott D'Amore has been pushing incredibly hard to put this product, at a very good stage. They've been doing a really good job with their creative and stuff. Dave Meltzer believes that they didn't really want to increase the budget for a TNA. Look, here's the thing. This is what he says. I think that he thought it's time to spend more money, try to go after more talent to try to build this thing up. We have a little bit of momentum, and the Anthem people were kind of like, we don't want to increase the budget, and maybe even wanted to cut back on the budget, but definitely didn't want to increase the budget and had a standoff. And that's kind of what happened. And I mean, he'd always been trying to get a bigger budget, and he was always rebuffed. Yeah, I mean, there's some talks that maybe there was like a little bit of pushback, a little bit of some tension there between the two parties. I'm going to say this because I feel like I've been covering TNA for literally 10 years. A lot of people don't realize that how I even got into the wrestling space was covering TNA and then Impact and all of these different things. Let me just make it very clear. Anthem had something going with Scott D'Amore. I mean, when you look at Anthem coming in, what was it, 2017, 2018, they came in, they inherited a mess. They eventually have Scott D'Amore run the ship. He becomes the president of the company. Good creative, good stuff happening on the show. But the product took a hit from production value. And you can tell, like, the budget that was given to TNA was clearly not that great. I mean, I think that's really obvious. But the real unfortunate thing here is this is what businesses should be looking for. They should be looking for somebody to take your company and give it momentum and give it the ability to grow. And the fact that they weren't able to give Scott D'Amore a bigger budget, and then there's things out online that suggest that TNA didn't really want Scott D'Amore to be the face of the company. They want it to be more Anthem as the face of the company. We know. I don't forget those memes when you first came out and put the owl everywhere on the ring apron and the championship belt and the logos everywhere. It was just a big mess. Anthem, in my opinion, may have made the biggest mistake for this company, and I feel greatly bad because there's a lot of great talented people that work there, and there's a lot of people who deserve better than this. Scott D'Amore was an incredible leader, something I witnessed with my own eyes. And I will always be appreciative out of those conversations that I had with Scott D'Amore, mainly because I don't even think he knew who I was at the time. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But those are things that I will carry with me for a very long time. And just to see that this is a great group of people running a great wrestling promotion that doesn't have the same budget as WWE and AEW, yet during a pandemic and during all of these different things that have happened, they've kept me entertained. Very shocking and very stupid in my honest opinion. I really think it was dumb. Guys, remember we talked about WWE Speed before? Yeah, it's kind of weird saying that, but WWE Speed looks to be back on. And now here is where things get interesting. WWE officially filed for a trademark for the WWE Speed name, and it is being filed for the name of a show under entertainment services, with it being reported that the company has been shopping this around to networks, but it's also been mentioned that this could be a digital show. Very similar to what WWE did with the Mixed Match Challenge. Now, WWE taped one episode of this. Kevin Patrick and I believe Corey Graves were on commentary for it. WWE speed was on the barricade, the ring aprons, it was on the trons everywhere. And the concept is 5-minute matches. And this is like your dark matches that happen before a show, but they tape them and they're trying to monetize it. I think it's a good idea. I think the 5-minute concept is an interesting one because, you could have the big guy squash matches on there, or you could do the cruiserweights, whatever you really want to do. But it's just extra content, which I think you might as well do, right? Like if you look at AEW capturing ROH and Rampage and stuff, whether it's before or after Dynamite or Collision, like you're monetizing your content by doing that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a smart thing. WWE also does main event as well. So I think this is a good thing for WWE if they decide to do it. Now, will it integrate stories and stuff like that? Will people actually benefit from being on WWE Speed? I don't know, but there's a lot of people who aren't used, and this would be a good way to get them in front of the audience, get them in front of people on the screen, and then based on reactions and the input that you're getting from the fan base, then you could determine if you want to push them in strong storylines. And that brings us to our final topic of today's video, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Amari Miller is gone from the WWE, and this seems to be a very interesting thing that's also going down in WWE because she claims that WWE and her have parted ways. Neither of us have decided to re-sign another contract, so my 3 years are up. I am beyond grateful of what they have given me and taught me, but my journey has come to an end. When a door closes, one door opens. Will I keep wrestling? Who knows? Will I lace up my boots again in the future? Possibly. I got to experience a lifestyle that most people dream of, and I will never take it back. On to the next chapter of my life. Thank you, coaches, WWE, and the fans who actually supported me, and not the fans who were bullshitters wishing me bad during my career. LOL. This came from her directly on Instagram. Keep in mind, she signed with WWE in 2021. She was used on 205 Live. She was used on NXT Level Up. She was on television a little bit here and there. The big thing for her was last year in February, she tore her ACL. It obviously took her off TV. From what we saw of Amari Miller, a lot of potential, a lot of good things. And, I think the thing here is that, well, two things. When I say WWE star, I'm referring to somebody who's part of WWE, right? If I say WWE star or WWE superstar, that's what they are. Whether you think they're the biggest name in the world, that's not really what matters here. So I say the same thing with TNA, AEW, WWE. That's what I reference. I'm just trying to make that clear. But at the end of the day, I think she could have actually become a star for WWE based on what I saw. There was potential there. You know what I'm saying? So obviously injuries suck. Those types of things you really can't do anything about. You just got to come back and rehab it and hopefully everything gets better. But for Amari Miller, I hope she's one that continues to go on this wrestling journey. I think a lot of people go into NXT or WWE and it doesn't work out and their life and dreams are shattered and they don't want to wrestle anymore. I would love nothing more than to see her. Again, I thought she was great. So let me know what you guys think down below.